welcome to everyone, viewers and coins of the vault alike. I am Tatsumari, and today we aren't going to be doing anything too crazy. We are actually going to be editing the chapter 17 of Maplestory the novel Guardians, which is the second book in the Maplestory the novel series. You may be familiar with that in Maplestory the novel Sacred Tears, which is the first book, aka first season. I like to call it that, just because it sounds cooler, I guess. What was I going to say? So much stuff I was going to say. Yeah, anyways. This is a... Maplestory the novel as a whole is an alternate universe look at the story of Maplestory. And it is... the videos are at least up to chapter 13 of Sacred Tears. You can read the story on beyond that. However, keep in mind that what is there may and will change in the future. So keep that in mind. Also, if that's not your flavor, you can check out Sly Cooper Rise of Vexen, which I just uploaded chapter 4 this last week, and I'm beginning production of chapter 5. If all goes well, in the next couple weeks I should have the preview for chapter 5 up and ready, and then by the end of the month, perhaps even the full chapter 5. But we shall see. More on both of those at the end of the stream. But for now, I see that we have a viewer in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. I hope you were at least mildly entertained by what you kind of see and read and all this kind of good stuff. But for now, let's get started. Like I said before, this is chapter 17 of Guardians. And believe it or not, this was the first story that I wrote. Kind of like how, what's this guy? The guy that he did Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe. He wrote the second book first, and then he went back and wrote the first book. This is kind of what happened there. I actually wrote what would be this book, the second, what is now the third book, New Dawn, and what will be the fourth and fifth book, Legends of Osiria at the beginning, before I even wrote Sacred Tears. So there's a lot to check out there. There will be links in the description below once the stream is done, so that way I can, get stuff going. But we shall see here in a minute. Well, I guess, hold on. Before we get to that, I guess I want this one, actually. I actually want to do something over here. I am trying to find out how to do a thing. Here we go. I'm not actually doing anything on the story just yet. I'm just kind of making some modifications here on my side. Okay, there we go. That should get some good stuff going. All right. So now, let's do this. And if anybody has any questions, Feel free, for those of you who are watching later, feel free to ask the questions down in the comments below. And if you are watching live right now, feel free to question away. You know, I'm more than willing to answer any kind of questions you guys have. I'm not against that. Okay, so one major change that I did here, if you guys remember this story from way back, when I first wrote this, I actually had, this is talking to people who remember this, I actually had Athena be an unrequited love of Dark Lord Jin, who is the thief master in Maplestory. However, I decided to go away from that and make Athena a little more independent and a little more Galadriel-like. Not the Galadriel from Rings of Power. No, not that one. I mean Hobbit and Lord of the Rings Galadriel. That kind. So this is actually going to go away. And I'm actually working from the angle that, for those who are familiar with the game of Maplestory, there is the Chief Knight Eckhart, who is the Night Walker, I believe? Something like that. Basically the Chief Knight of Thieves for Empress Cygnus in the game. I'm actually making it from the angle that Eckhart is Athena's late husband from our world. Because at the beginning of this story, by the time we meet Athena and Jenny, her daughter, Caleb, her late husband, died from a heart attack, I believe it was. And she just never wanted to remarry. However, now that she's back in Maple World, aka Osiria, she is feeling the pull towards Eckhart, who I am working as an alternate world version of the same person. It kind of goes off the concept of like the multiverse theory, where like there's one of you in each universe. And I thought it was really well done, or at least well explained, kind of, in a movie called, I believe it was called The One with Jet Li. Let me actually check that out. Yeah, it's called The One. It's actually a pretty cool concept. But yeah, I'm kind of working off of that. So, yeah. All right. Now I gotta kind of remember where I was, because it's been a while since I've actually done this. Okay. A few weeks, Jin unknowingly ripped out her heart, but Athena was slowly beginning to recover from her wound. So able to smile the first time, and giving her voice to Mir, who often was more innocent than she seemed. Okay. To Mir as she let's see, that's not quite the word I'm looking for, but oh, and yes, I am using Grammarly for this. There we go. so that is not the word I'm looking for. Yeah, there's my phone over there. What's his name? I forget. There's so many characters in this. I'll have to try to remember them all. Evan. Evan. I call him Evan. Just for whatever reason, it sounds more natural to me. I don't know why. I can reuse this because I want to reuse this for sure. It's a thought. No, I'm going to keep that. Let's see. Oof. I'm behind on my water today. So if you hear me gurgling down a bunch of water, that is why. I'm a little behind on water. Not sweat. Swear. I'm going to get rid of this little piece here. Ah, okay. Wonder if Vaughn knows what he's getting. He's unleashed. No. Or elf. There we go. So, viewer in the chat, how are you doing today? I hope your weekend has been treating you well. Whatever endeavors you've been up to. Daniel. Oh, so you're the one in my chat. Well, cool. At least you're not doing bad, right? Oh, why would we freak out? I'm just being curious here. Far behind. Whoopsie. Be right back on the video, just checking something really quick. Oh, we got another viewer in the chat. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're at least mildly entertained by what we're doing here in the chat here shortly. Or in the video shortly. Just, I'm checking something here. How are you doing, Second viewer, I hope your weekend is treating you well. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, well, we did have one here. Oh, wait. I know what it was. When I went to go check something and it was on the my studio. Um I think it counted me as a viewer while I was like happened to pass by the video at that one time. So that's probably what it was. Um anyways, I don't know if you heard me or not. Blech, frog in my throat. I don't know if you heard me or not, Daniel, but I was just curious as to why you were freaking out about the video I posted. Oops. Ah, okay. It's all good. It was like I guess when I was kind of getting into the community, while it was still had the old forums format, I think there was a couple people that posted that a couple times. Either that or I ran across it a few times and just looking up Maplestory music videos, MMVs. And I remember seeing it and I was like, you know what, I want to like do my own version of that. Um, but at the time, I think that's when Band Story was a thing, and just using, I think it was like a screen capture program. I can't remember, like Cam Studio or something like that. I did make some old trailers for Guardians somewhere along the way, and I don't remember where they are. I have them somewhere digitally, but I used to use Band Story to make a lot of videos, and it was basically stop motion to where, I had figured it out to where I could do like a couple taps on the space bar, which was the record button for Cam Studio. You do a frame, then you move the sprites across, then you'd take the sprite and you move it across the screen. And then you take a shot again, then you move the sprite across the screen, take another shot, and just keep doing that. And by the time you were done, it was kind of like claymation, where you ended up with like 3 hours worth of work for like a 2 minute animation. That most of the time, if you weren't careful, you'd end up with the little size box around it with the little, like all those little 8 points on it to make it bigger or smaller or something like that. Oh, that was a nightmare. I remember those days. And then back in those days, I think I only had Windows Movie Maker to do anything. So it was like, it actually came out pretty good. Yeah, basically stop motion in a computer. I thought it came out pretty nice, but it was like really primitive stuff that I had to work with. So now that I have kind of the resources and expertise to do stuff, that's what I decided I was going to do. And I think I actually got the idea because there was a compilation of Nightcore songs that I was listening to, and Dam Daddy Doo was one of them. I was like, oh, you know what? I remember that. Let's see. The video's still up? Yes, video's still up. And I looked in there. 14 years ago. I wonder. And it was like 10:30 at night when I got started. So I was like, I'm going to do this. Blah! And I think I stopped at like 2:30 in the morning. I was completely exhausted, and then I did the rest of it today. But I think it was worth it. I don't know about you, but I think it was worth it. I have no regrets. It was one of those videos I've always wanted to do. I've done it, so there. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I had it right the first time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so just leave that alone now. At least I'm pretty sure it's Caleb. You know what? Let me check something really quick. I want to make sure that I actually get that right. No. Stop it. Ah. I've been spelling it wrong. Let's see. Find. go. No. You know what? I need to double check something. Let's see. Oops. Shall we go? Oops. Okay, let's see. I just need to go back and double check something that I got. Because I want to make sure to keep the continuity. Here we go. Okay. So I did mess it up. All right. Let's see. Oops, I have a mistake here. Ah, there we go. Man, I was trying to crack my neck there for a while. It just wasn't happening. All right. So for this section right here, there is a character in Maplestory named Maya. This character has gone through quite a few transformations over the years, but the one thing that always seems to stay put is that she is usually very weak and can't really go a lot of places. When I first started playing Maplestory, one of the things that always popped up is that I think it was Camila. Yeah, I think it's Camila. One is an NPC in Hennessy's. Always wanted to make sure that Maya had something to eat, so she would always send you out to go get some mushroom caps so she could make, I think it was like horny mushroom pie or something like that. Yes, I know what it sounds like, but it's not that. And then you would take it to Maya to, help her keep her strength up. But I think after you did that, then there was like the next quest line is that she needed some special medicine. I think that's what it was called. The item in the game was called the special medicine. And that you had to go to Camila. I think it was like a 2 or 3 NPC quest line that you had to do. And then you get it back to her. Later, that was simplified to just taking her the pie. But she was always, the dialogue always said that she was, she acknowledged that, she was always weak and she always wanted to be out and adventuring and stuff like that, but she couldn't really do much and she would always just be house ridden. So I think in the latest update, she's basically just disappeared from the quest lines altogether, which is kind of sad. But my only headcanon, I know it sounds kind of sad, but the story of Maple Story itself is, when you really actually take a step back and look at it, it's actually a pretty dark story. But all in all, my headcanon for it is that Maya had, like, nobody knew what it was, but she had this persistent illness, basically, which was the fantasy world equivalent to cancer. Because she always wore a headband. She always wears a headband. Let me actually see if I can find a picture of her real quick. All right, so this is Maya from Maple Story. And I know she has her hair, but usually you lose your hair when you go through chemotherapy. But this is the way she always appeared through no matter the updates in Maple Story. So, and she was always saying that she was rather frail and always weak. So it made my headcanon is that basically she had the fantasy world version of cancer, which, it's sad, yes, but it would explain her state perfectly. So I took that and ran with it, and therefore I believe in this version. Oops, this is what we want. I can't remember exactly what it was. Okay, Maya hadn't been. Okay. Very well as a child, but she knew of many things, even though, despite being cooped up in her house for days on end due to her strange illness. And that was, if I remember right, the old quest line, that's what it called it, was just a strange illness. But looking at Maple Story as a whole, especially with her being weak and whatnot, it's just trying to be saying it's a nice version of saying she has a fantasy world version of cancer. It's just, it fits. It's, sad, but it fits. It often left her too weak to venture far from the house, let alone around Hennessy's before it was attacked. Okay, before black wings. I guess you can't see it in the stream, but I'm using Grammarly to help me out here with the editing part of stuff. Let's see, what does my phone tell me? Oh boy. Just junk text messages. Alrighty. Give me a second. There's something on my shoulder here that I'm just checking out. Alright, cool. Ever since she saw him come to Hennessy's, she wanted to know who he was, and most of all, she wanted him to take her away. She lost hope when everyone had to flee to Herbtown because of the Black Mage's return, and resigned herself to her sickness. Never to find her secret love. Never finding her secret love. Okay, that makes it better. Ooh. Isn't it funny how sometimes you can go like hours and hours and hours without drinking a single drop of water, but the minute you have like a single sip of water, you suddenly feel like you've been in the desert for the past like 8 years without a single drop of water. And you're like, oh, I can't get enough of it. Glug, 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 glug. When a powerful priest in Herbtown managed to find a potion and spell combination that healed her illness, she renewed her hope and began to search in earnest. She searched. Beginning to lose hope when by pure chance I went E, not W. I went E. She found him and a heavily armored warrior resting in the forest. Pulling the shawl from around her shoulders and dropping it to the ground. Oh, nope. She knelt next to Dragon Noir quietly. Her search was over. At last, she could be free. Free from the village, from being sick, from being just a normal girl. An ordinary girl. Ooh, I like that better. Dragon Noir woke from his slumber when he felt someone watching him as he rested. Why? Terror and awe raced through her soul, unable, perhaps more unwilling to move away from him. And who are you? No, my voice is all messed up, so I won't be able to do many voices. And who are you? He asked coldly. My name? Let's see. We want to make her stutter. Wait. With your dragon. With you on your dragon, she answered timidly, yet enticing. I am not interested in someone slowing me down. Phoenix, get up. We're leaving. The great warrior woke from his slumber as he transformed from his human form into his dragon form with a burst of flames as Dragon War walked away from Maya. In desperation, Maya reached out and clung to his sleeve as he walked away, stopping him. Please, take me with you. I would do anything that you would require, anything that you desire. The offer made Dragon War think if this girl is willing to do anything for him, then he could use this to drive those pesky guardians apart. That would at least weaken them a great deal. Weaken them greatly. Okay, cool. Even if only... From the group. Sounds a little better. Even if something removed only one of them from the group. Oh. Okay. The only question remained on how... Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. On how he could accomplish something like that. Now someone was here offering themselves freely. There is one task you can help me with. Dragon Noir said smoothly. As he turned his cold and glowing eyes back to Maya. Her face became bright with a wide, broad smile as she took his extended hand and let herself be brought to Phoenix's back. They bolted into the sky, heading for his cave, where Dragon Noir and Phoenix had first met. It would be there he would formulate the Guardian's undoing. The group finally arrived at the ship, quietly tying ropes to the hull. To the boat's hull. Okay. Olsen nimbly climbed the side, and tied the rope to the railing of the bow. Oops. As Olsen nimbly climbed the side and tied the ropes, multiple, to the railing at the bow of the ship. Ship's bow. That's what I was going to do. Tugging on it. Let's just get rid of that. Matthew was about to give Eris to boost Eris when Nathan reached out and pulled her back. Stay here in the boat. Firmly pushing her back so that she lost her balance and sat down before climbing up the rope himself. Matthew jerked his head to the side and once again helped Eris up the rope, then clambered up. He chuckled when he saw Nathan and Eris already arguing on the deck. Jack was about to separate them when Olsen stepped in and roughly pulled them apart. "Can't you guys be quiet?" he hissed in a loud whisper. I want Eris to go back to the village and wait there. I almost lost her once, and I'm not going to do it again. It's the only way I know to protect her. It's the only way to protect her, Nathan hissed in return. Wilson's eyes became dark and hard as he looked at him. Okay. Get rid of those. Okay. Alright. So I will be right back. I need to go get some more water to drink. So don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Alrighty. You want to protect her? You can't even protect yourself. What you're doing isn't protection. Excuse me. It's imprisonment. True protection is ensuring your safety when something does happen. And then ensuring that whatever did happen, ensuring never happens to her or anyone else again. That is proper protection. No, that doesn't sound right. Wilson hissed, pulling away with a firm shove as he and Jenny took point. Nathan looked to the ground, jutting out his jaw and lowering his eyes. Hey, I know you want to protect me, but I'm not as weak anymore. Jack has taught me a lot, okay? Eris said, putting a hand on his shoulder, leaning over to look him in the eyes. Nathan nodded, sighing while following the group. Before he could turn away, did I get the spelling wrong? I sure did. Okay. There we go. Eris stepped before him and used her forehead to turn his head up. Giving him a firm kiss. Hey, I'll be fine, okay? She said, smiling at him. Nathan sighed and nodded. In acceptance. I believe that's how you spell it. Nope, that's not. As they crept along, something began to appear on the deck. It was a misty creature began to appear on the deck. It was dressed in a white overcoat, holding a glowing red lantern, mumbling to himself as he walked. And mumbling to himself as he walked. Each step rumbled through the deck. Jenny quickly pushed them back to a stairway below. To a stairway leading below deck. They would try to go under him to get to the captain's quarters. Helen thought she smelled something strange and walked over to a metal trough that held with a foul-smelling liquid. It's lamp oil. Antonius said, as she too had come over and smelled the liquid. What is this Okay. If she had come over to smell the liquid. She came over and smelled the liquid. There we go. This is getting better and better as we go. Shorter and shorter, smearing off the fat. With the snap of her fingers, Helen ignited a flame over it. Flames tore down the length of the trough, igniting Trough. 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 Illuminating their way down what looked to be an extremely long corridor. Almost longer than the ship appeared. Hundreds of... Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Not the shop, the ship. Hundreds of small green-eyed ghosts turned to them. All quickly hid up. The group quickly hid up the stairs, watching the ghosts with the reflection of Matthew's katana blade. Olson, I need you and Jack to see if you can hurt those things. Something tells me it won't be easy, Matthew asked. The two nodded as Olson called up his shadow partner and readied his shuriken. In a quick burst of movement, Olson stood in the corridor and hurled the stars hurled the stars, okay, as hard as he could. There we go. That makes better. It makes better sense. Each fluttered through the little green men like wisps of smoke. Jack came blazing in with a gun arm, with his gun arm flaring blue. Cocking back the hammer and pulling the trigger. Again. Oops. Each of the little men were completely unaffected. Okay, so I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to reload the page because sometimes the Grammarly, it kind of like glitches out. So even though I like corrected something, it won't actually show it, and it'll still show there's a problem. So sometimes I need to reload the page, and it'll like correct the problem. Then sometimes it'll bring up more problems that I didn't know I had. Each of the little men were completely... No, we're going to leave that alone. And we're going to leave you alone. Utterly unaffected. The little men were utterly unaffected. Ultimately, I guess. Ultimately. Unaffected by their attacks, except for a few who stomped the fires on the end of their brooms they carried. As if on command, they all turned and swung their brooms. They all turned and swung their brooms at them as if on command. Jack and Olson could hardly avoid the stinging hits, as their own hits passed right through them. We need you. We need you. Jack shouted as Matthew drew his katana. Jenny knocked her bow with Alden holding onto her shoulder. Holding her shoulder. Helen ignited a lightning spell in her hands. Alfheben. I think that's how you say that. Alfheben? I know that in a update recently I saw with Copper-san, he said that there was an update coming to where Neo Tokyo was coming back. So I guess we'll have to see the pronunciation there. And I did play through it when it was Terra Forest in old previous updates. Those of you who are watching this later, if you do play Maplestory, if you go into it right now and you open up the world map, if you go to the Minar Forest area, you should see an area that's kind of like up in the, I think it's in the upper right corner. It's kind of like grayed out with some chains over it. That used to be the Terra Forest, and then you'd go through there, and that would lead you to the Neo Tokyo area. I did play through it once, though I did kind of it was kind of hard for me to follow the storyline a little bit. I don't know if it was just because of my own intelligence or what the deal was, but I wasn't able to really pick out a story that was supposed to be there. The most I got was that somewhere along the way there was like a boy. There was either a boy or a girl genius, one of the two, that was able to make really advanced robotics, and then it just spiraled from there. I didn't know at the time, but apparently the Korean Maplestory had a much better storyline than what we got here in Global Maplestory. So way back in the day, there used to be, I can't remember who the guy was, but there was a guy who did a lot of compilation of the Maplestory storyline, and that was one of the things that they compiled, was the Neo Tokyo storyline, which actually helped me and inspired the, I believe, I need to check it out real quick, no, it wasn't chapter 13. It wasn't chapter 14. Maybe it was chapter 12. Oops, nope, that's part 2. Come on. No, that's not it. Oh, okay. So it was the guy's post that I found, being that it compiled the whole story of Neo Tokyo from the Korean Maplestory. It inspired me to write the events of chapter 11 of Guardians. Oberon and Alphaben, past and the future. So, with that out of the way, that is why you see Alphaben here. There's a lot of timelines crisscrossing and stuff like that too. Getting all muddled up as to what belongs where. But ultimately, I believe, if I remember right, in what is new, what will be season 3 and what is New Dawn will be straightened out so that way time will run linear rather than kind of all this spaghetti stuff that we got going on here. And I see we got a second viewer in the chat, so welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. I hope you were at least mildly entertained by what we are doing here today. How's the weekend treating you, second viewer? Oh, all right. Later. All right, cool. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good. Oh, okay. It's all good. Yeah, we're pretty far past that conversation now. So, no worries, no worries. So, thanks for coming. I'm doing pretty all right. I wasn't able to get quite as much done as I wanted to get done today. We're actually working on putting new shingles on the roof, and we're trying to get ahead of a rainstorm that's coming in about 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we weren't quite able to get as far as we wanted to get done, but yeah, we're kind of in a spot where I think we'll be okay. Hopefully. But yeah, we're kind of doing stuff over here. As far as me, I'm doing pretty good. Daniel can attest to this. I just put out like a little new short video out that is a remake of a very old Maplestory music video. And I'm editing over here with a couple people hanging out with me. So, we're good to go. And hopefully, it'll be somewhat entertaining for you guys. So where is it? Flared into existence. Lily-Ann provided cover. All right, cool. Currently, I guess you can tell by the title of the stream here, I'm working on Maplestory the Novel Guardians, which is quote-unquote Season 2 of the Maplestory the Novel series. So, when the stream is done, I will have a link below to the written story so far, as well as a playlist that has all of the videos so far for Sacred Tears, which is the first season. Our area is going to have rain from 12 or 1 a.m. Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be... it's gonna be strange. To the students. As they stayed back. And let's find out how. They waited for instructions. A shadow darkened the stairway behind them. The air felt thick and heavy, trying to stay as silent. Let's see. As the large creature stopped by the door. The 4, because now there's Lillian there. There's not only... Wait. Lillian, there's Nathan, and Eris. Yeah, there's only 3 of them. Okay. I don't believe Antonia has shown up yet. Yeah, she's later in the story, I believe. Let me... Oh, okay. So Antonia is there. Never mind. So there is 4 of them. Ages. The circles stayed there until they turned back the way they came, and heavy and the heavy footsteps faded away. There's 6 here, actually. 6 that are fighting the little ghosts. Oh, and by the way, for those of for the old school Maple players out there, you may remember this. This is the quest line for or this is a modified version of the storyline for, I believe it was Singapore and the Ghost Ship. Yeah, I believe that's where it was. It's been a long time since I played that area, because it's pretty much abandoned now because everybody's just grinding out levels in some other place. Tried hard to hit the creatures, but failing, as each attack failed as each attack hit the ground. Or nearly hit each other. Oh. Another ghost, and got the same result. They found their weakness. Now it's time to get rid of the ghosts. get rid of these tabs here. Get rid of this tab here. Driving through a crowd of them. Cutting through and breaking, cutting through and breaking each broom. Eris, Antonia, and Nathan also began attacking as Alden darted. As Alden swatted with his paws. Swatted the dry root of the brooms with his paws. His little paws, his little toe beans. Alrighty. Well, I think that's where we're going to call it for today. I know I'm usually going 2 hours on these streams, but 1, I'm a little tired. 2, I'm probably reaching that spot where I'm starting to lose a lot of you guys. So, for those of you who did come to the live part of it, thank you for coming. And for those of you who are watching later, thanks for checking this out. This has been Writing with Tazumari, your dragon writer. So next week, I think I'll try. I don't know what I'll try. What do you guys suggest? Leave your comments down below and leave me a suggestion. I have Elden Ring, which I just started a new game plus. I have Satisfactory, which I'm still working on my Train Empire. I have Minecraft, I have Turmoil, Maplestory, Volcanoids, which apparently I think had just a bigger update just recently. I have Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but that kind of requires a second person to play with. So I'll see if somebody's interested in that. Okay, I'll consider that one. I also have Timberborn, which is kind of a, I guess like a beaver version of like SimCity kind of deal. But you have to worry about managing your supply of water because there's a drought that happens every few weeks. I do still have Elder Scrolls Online, though I have to double check to make sure my account is still active because I am going through an internet change, which means that my email is going to be changing, so I have to make sure all my accounts are changed over and whatnot. I also have Don't Starve Together, which is something that a friend of mine got me into, or didn't really get me into, they were just bored and wanted somebody to play with. And I have a very simple game called Luck Be a Landlord, which is actually a lot harder than it looks. So, out of that list of games, maybe leave a suggestion. We got one over here from Bad Dude on the Screen for Elden Ring, and we'll kind of see what happens next week. We'll kind of see what the consensus is in the comments, and we'll go from there. So if you want to be sure and never miss a thing here on my channel, here on YouTube, check out that, it's gray now, I guess. Check out that little gray button on the bottom that says subscribe on it and become a coin in the vault so you don't miss a thing. If you're looking for more content besides my live streams here, be sure and check out Maplestory, the novel's Sacred Tears. This is the first quote-unquote season or book of the Maplestory, the novel series, which is an alternate universe look at the story of Maplestory. This particular one is geared as an audiobook. It is a fan fiction that I wrote a few years ago. Um, and it is geared as an audiobook, though there is a lot of on-screen elements that you can watch, so it's kind of more of an audio graphic novel kind of deal. There are still a few videos that I have not updated to actually be that audio graphic novel thing. I just haven't had the time to get to them yet. So you'll just have to kind of listen through there. But the majority of them are the audio graphic novel. It is fully voice acted. It has background music. It has sound effects and all the good stuff. So if you do like what you hear over here or what you see, be sure and give it a thumbs up and leave it a comment and give a props to all the voice actors and actresses who I work with on it. It would not be as awesome without them. If that's not so much your speed, you can also check out Sly Cooper: Rise of Vexen. This is also a this is also a fanfiction I wrote, which is a continuation fanfiction after the events of Sly Cooper: Thieves in Time. It follows Carmelita Fox and her adventure to get Sly Cooper back. This is also geared as an audiobook, however, it is more so than Sacred Tears. It is fully voice acted, it does have sound effects, and it does have music, background music and whatnot. However, the only on-screen elements are pictures of whatever characters happen to be in the particular scene, and the background changes depending on which character is talking at any given moment. So it is more so for you to just kind of turn it on and leave it in the background while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. Again, as with Sacred Tears, be sure and leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and share it around so that we can overcome our algorithm overlords. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So like I said, I'll be checking the comments on this stream here for suggestions for what I should play. If you go back earlier in the stream, I do have a list of all the games that I currently have. So out of that list, leave a comment and leave a suggestion of what you think I should play. Again, like I said, Bad Dude has made the suggestion of Elden Ring, so we shall see. But yeah. So, until next time, my friends.